All right, welcome into Market Day Report. I am Scott Shellady, otherwise known as Cow Guy. Thank you very much for tuning us in. Love to see you here on a Friday. Well, these markets are moving, aren't they? I mean, they just these stories continue to write themselves almost. Let's take a look and see what we've got going on in corn, all right? Let's take a look at that corn board. I have to do that part. I have to click on the corn and see what it looks like. It comes up as a down 8 cents, right? We did the radio show early this morning. Corn was off about 8 cents, and it's been here for a while now. Let's say SEP's down to 5.29 even. We have been 6.5 cents lower. 522.5, and we've had, I guess, a 16-cent range you could call it there, but we're down 8.25 with 529 the last print in the SEP. Dees is down 8.75 to 537.5 as we take a little steam out of that rally. 537.5 is last, and we've had about a 15-cent range over in the Dees. Moving on from corn, we go to soybeans, and what do we have happening in soybeans? Well, August has kind of decoupled itself. They don't have any issues. It's up 2 cents to 14.97 even, but we've got a little bit of a lower board as you go out the deferreds. Nove is 4.25 lower. That's the new crop. Hanging on to that $14 level, $14.50 right now. We have been 15 cents lower, folks. That's probably the highlight there. We're only 8 cents off the highs. So we've got about a 23, 24 cent range over there, and we're about 8 cents off the highs. That'll give you an idea about what we've been doing as of late. Okay, so that's soybeans. Moving over to wheat, Chicago wheat market. This is taking it on the chin, as they say. 28.25 cents lower in that SEP contract. 6.9875 is last, or about 3 cents off the lows. And we've had a 37-cent range over there. How about that? So we're 28 cents lower, 37-cent range, 3 cents off the lows of a 37-cent range. That should start to paint a picture. We got Dees down 27 cents right behind it. 7.1925 is last. And that has had about a roughly similar range, 36 cents. So that'll give you an idea about what's happening over there. Okay, that's Chicago. Let's move on. Kansas City, here we come. That's going to be the hard red. 22 cents lower in the front month, SEP to 8.5275. And that's got a 36 cent range, just like we had in the last one. Dees is down 21.75 cents to 8.59. Similar range. So that'll give you an idea about what's happening there. But we're off about 21, 22 cents across the board in the hard red in Kansas City. Moving to Minneapolis to see what the spring wheat's got in store for us. 19 cents lower there in that SEP contract to 8.83. And unfortunately, that's a new low. All right, so that's a 24-cent range there. Going out to the Dees, that's down 19.25 cents. 8.92.5 is last. One tick off the lows, and that's a similar range. So spring wheat kind of on its heels as we speak. How about cotton, you ask? Well, cotton we're down 28 points in the Dees contract. Above 84 still. 84.03 is last there. And we bring in our next guest analyst. That's going to be Joe Lardy. He's with CHS Inver Grove Heights. He's at the home office. You get free lunch, free breakfast every single day. Thanks for being on. Right. That's only when you work from home, right? Yep. What do you got for us? What do you think? What say you?
Well, I think these markets are really hard to read right now. I mean, we haven't seen these markets trend consistently higher for a long time. I mean, it just feels incredibly whippy to me, where we get some news and we trade higher for a couple of days, and it really seems like, hey, this is supportive news. And then all of a sudden we break and we kind of fall off a cliff. And, this is one of those times where I'm kind of sitting back, scratching my head going, I wish I had better insight, but I'm looking at the weather forecast, and up here in Minnesota, we're going to get 90-degree temperatures for 7 days in a row and not much rain in the forecast. And yet the market doesn't seem to be pricing in a weather risk. And I just did a tour from Minneapolis down into the central part of Iowa. And I mean, everything is tasseled. I mean, we are going into pollination, and we're also bringing in 90 to 100-degree temperatures across a big portion of the upper Midwest, but the market doesn't seem to want to put that risk premium in the market today. So I'll just scratch my head and lose some more here, I guess.
Well, right. I can't really lose that much. You know what I think, too, Joe, is this is a good example for probably the younger traders out there. I say, I'd much rather see a demand-led rally. Those are longer, more steady. Yep. They're healthier. When you get supply-led rallies, and this is a supply rally, we're worried about production because of the weather, like you just mentioned. It is whippy. That's a great word, because you're living from one headline to the next to try to get that market to rally. And if you don't get any new news, it sells off. Even if you do have, like you said, hot and dry weather for the next 7 days, but that's not new news, right? So that's the problem with these supply-led rallies versus demand-led rallies. Supply-led rallies really kind of fizzle in a heartbeat over nothing except for no new news.
Yeah, that's what makes really trading these markets very difficult. And it's almost one of those things where kind of the nimble in and out type of trader is probably going to be a little bit more successful than somebody that looks at fundamentals and says the market should be moving in this direction every day, because it's not happening.
My dad and I used to sit in that office and say, I mean, we're fundamental guys. I'll say that up front. And I would say, you know, I just don't feel like being dead right. I'm going to stay out of the market here because you could be right, but not still get run over, right? Because like what you just said. Absolutely. All right.
It's tough to stop that train.
Exactly right. Great stuff. Thanks for being on. That's Joe Lardy, comes to us from CHS up in Inver Grove Heights. We're going to go away. We're going to pay some bills. We're going to come back and talk more with me. I'm the Cow Guy right after this.